गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू Gunnershot. Gunnershot में आप सबका स्वागत है. Today we're going to have this open house where we're going to discuss quite a few issues. We're going to talk how Pakistan is in panic. We're going to see if Kashmir has turned a corner. And then we'll see, is there a lesson for Bangladesh in Pahalgam? And what I'm also looking, if I have the time, I'll cover a unexpected fallout of the tariff war on China. It's very interesting, the way things are going. Pakistan is in panic and has started crying, uncle. Koi to bacha do hame. Right. And that's what it is. And how did it all start? It started with the release of water from the Uri Dam into Jhelum. This is Jhelum. Okay. And that's not the river of, what shall I say? That's not the river of decision. In this water war, the river of decision will be Chenab. This. Okay. You watch it as we go along. Jhelum is just a trailer. And this trailer was done yesterday where, have a look at it.
हिंदुस्तान की तरफ से अभी जारी ये दरिया में पानी का बहाव कम से कम 20 से 30 फुट ज्यादा कर दिए गए. इस वक्त आप देख सकते हैं, ये आपके सामने, ये 92 में इस रेंज पे पहुंचा था पानी. आज उसी रेंज में पहुंच गया है. अभी जारी और मुसलसल पानी में इजाफा होता जा रहा है.
पानी में इजाफा होता जा रहा है. वेल, जिस तरीके से हम देखते हैं एंड द वे आई असेस इट, दिस वाज जस्ट अ ट्रेलर. उसको थोड़ा पानी दिखाओ, उसको बोलो कि भाई ये भी हो सकता है और ये जेलम में हो सकता है. असली गात तो चनाब में है. क्यों चनाब? वन हैज टू अंडरस्टैंड चनाब का अहमियत क्या है. चनाब का अहमियत ये है कि छोटा मैप है, समझ लीजिए. चनाब का जो पानी है एक मराला हेडवर्क से, मराला हेडवर्क से वो पानी ले जाते हैं रावी में, रावी से ले जाते हैं लिंक कैनाल इनटू द सतलज बेसिन. राइट. सो वो इंपॉर्टेंट है. चनाब को हम अगर कंट्रोल करेंगे, चनाब के जो पानी है वो अगर हम कंट्रोल करेंगे तो काफी घातक होगा पाकिस्तान को. कल हमने बताया था आपको कि चनाब के ऊपर हमें बहुत सारे रन ऑफ द वाटर डैम्स हैं, उनको कंट्रोल कीजिए. उसके जरिए हम काफी कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. आम टाइम में नहीं, जब वक्त पे. द एंटायर बिजनेस ऑफ twisting Pakistan's tail depends on how you release water or don't release it. That's the point. Okay, the next point. Why is Pakistan in a panic? I mean, the moment you did this, the panic started, right? The Prime Minister, Shahbaz Sharif, he went for a military parade and he spoke in English so that goes across to everyone. So there's panic. See what he says.
Therefore, any attempt to stop, reduce, or divert the flow of water belonging to Pakistan under the Indus Waters Treaty would be responded to with full force and might, and nobody should remain under any kind of stress.
So, any attempt to stop, divert, or whatever of water belonging to Pakistan, as per the Indus Water Treaty, will be met with full force. But the question is that Indus Water Treaty is no more valid. It's no more valid. We don't treat it as a treaty. What can they do? They go for war? You just watch what he's committed. This Prime Minister has said that if you do anything, this thing, I'll come for war with you. Will he do it? There's panic. I'll tell you why there's panic. Okay, we'll not go further about this. Look at this fellow. This fellow is some junior minister. Aaj tak I never saw his face. It's all over Twitter. What has he said? He threatened nuclear war against us.
उन्होंने कह दिया ना कि अगर हमारा पानी बंद करेंगे तो फिर जंग के लिए तैयार हो जाएं। ये जो गोरी, शहीन, गजनवी, ये चौकों में सजाने के लिए नहीं हमने रखे हुए, ये हमने हिंदुस्तान के लिए रखे हैं। बाबा, ये जो 130 एटॉमिक हमारे पास वेपन है, वो हमने सिर्फ मॉडल बनाने के लिए नहीं रखे हुए, और आपको पता ही नहीं कि हमने पाकिस्तान के किस किस हिस्से में रखे हुए हैं। ये दुनिया भी जानती है, आप भी जानते हैं, वरना आप तो इतने मक्कार बनिए हैं कि अभी तक पाकिस्तान के ऊपर कई दफा हमलावर हो चुके होते। आपने बड़ी दफा कोशिश की, लेकिन जब आपको पता चला कि हमारे शाहीन जो है फिजाओं में आ गए हैं, तो आप भाग गए। तो इसलिए मैं दोबारा दोहराने लगा हूं, ये जो बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल है, ये जो क्रूज मिसाइल है, ये जो शाहीन है, गौरी है, ये मैं फिर दोहराने लगा हूं, ये हमारे चौकों में नहीं है, ये हमारे बिल्कुल आप इनका रुख आपकी तरफ है, और
बिल्कुल आपकी तरफ है। शाहीन और गौरी वगैरह वगैरह, nuclear war. He's threatened all this. Now the problem with Pakistan is it thinks that only it has nuclear weapons and others don't have nuclear weapons. Okay, he's forgotten that. He's got nuclear weapons and almost nothing else. Right? That's the problem. And the panic doesn't stop here. See the panic reaction from there, it doesn't stop here. What I've come to know is that some of their formations of 12 Corps, which is facing Afghanistan, have shifted to our border. Now he's spread. He's all over. He's going to get trouble from Afghan border, us, everywhere. And just today, there's a delegation, Indian delegation, which is sitting in Afghanistan and speaking to Taliban. And Baluchistan too is in a problem. And tomorrow I'm going to put out a video. It's an old video, but I'll add something to it and put it out about how bad the situation in Baluchistan is. So Pakistan is, the army is getting, spread thin. There are also reports of redeploying their Air Force, everything. So that's it. And day after tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll discuss with General Harimohan Nair what are the military options he has and what are the costs Pakistan has to pay to exercise any military option. Let's see. Okay. Now it's not just this threats. You do something, I will do this. No. Now they've gone one step further. In fact, they've gone another step. They've already started looking at, mediation. Articles are full of mediation. Far more mature to seek de-escalation through intermediation. And this is Pakistan's favorite trick. The first thing, uncle, मेरे को बचा लो. Uncle ji, बचा लो. Uncle Sam, बचा लो. Okay. They've got all their uncles in Saudi Arabia and, all. A new uncle has come up in Iran. Now they have come in. Very funny. Suddenly Saudi Arabia and Iran have come in. Both of them, they're Qatar enemies. Both of them have come in and jumped into the fray and said, we'll help you mediate. Right. See, let's see. Trump has ducked. Trump has said, let them figure it out. He's playing a cool hand. He knows that India won't step back. All his diplomacy won't work against India. And Pakistan, he's got really no hold actually at this point of time for this kind of a story. And he feels that India can do his job. Real politic is leave India to do whatever it has to do with Pakistan, it will be sorted out. So I said they'll figure it out. So Pakistan can't go to USA. Okay. Iran is coming. Now we'll know why Iran is wanting to come in. Iran is wanting to come in so that if it can mediate peace between India and Pakistan, it can use Pakistan to put pressure on Americans or not allow Americans to get deployed in Pakistan because they are worried about that. Where Americans will come and sit in Pakistan and hit them. I mean, that's the game. So that is Iran's thing. Okay. Then, of course, there's this editorial by Abbas Nasir. He's a good man, but well, he's a Pakistani. Okay. He'll talk Pakistani language. He says, can Saudis help reduce tension? They all know that no one in this kind of a situation, I've seen a rare resolve in people. Uri was against military targets. Pulwama was also against armed people. But this attack was against absolute civilians who had nothing to do with anything. They just come for honeymooning and family thing. And India is angry. And the Prime Minister is angry. The government is angry. There is anger. And this anger has to be directed. Where? Pakistan. It needs it. So nothing is going to change. You will see this coming out. You will see Pakistan now trying to wriggle out of it. Then this new story is coming out. That what's the new story? Let me give you a glimpse of it. This is the new story. This is the new story. Trade has ceased anyway. All trade to Pakistan is through second-hand routes or through someone else. And the Economic Times has come out with this headline. Trade barriers or not, there's just no stopping Indian goods from going to Pakistan. Now, this is serious. You want to twist their tails? You must ensure our goods don't reach there. Okay? Why? I mean, if I analyze this, there's certain things which are there in this. And that will form, why I'm analyzing it is it's got strategic value. This article tells you, and many more like this, tells you Pakistan cannot live without Indian goods. It needs Pakistani people need our goods. There's no doubt about it. Okay. And all these goods go from where? They go from India to Dubai, they go to Singapore, they go to Malaysia, and then they are routed. Fundamentally, these are all deals between our traders and Pakistani traders with an external agent and filtered through. That fellow's paid some cut and all that. Now, I think we need to change this narrative. That, look, tell Malaysia, tell Singapore, tell Indonesia, or tell Dubai and all these people that we will sell you our goods for what you want. You want to sell to Pakistan, it will be 6 times the cost. Tell our traders, tell them, hike the costs, triple or 4 times, 5 times the cost. Let Pakistanis pay. You can't stop it. They need these things. Let them pay. And let them pay a very heavy price. Because after water, this is the step. The moment you do that, their economy will start collapsing. I mean, one has to be ruthless hereafter. You have to have a whole of the government approach. Okay. Now, this is the outlines of what I'm trying to say. Already one is very clear. You see, the trade thing you have to attempt, something is, it's coming to fore, I'm sure the government will attack that. Water, they've given a trailer. Pakistan has gone all over. Now Pakistan will start reacting. It'll start crying uncle. It'll ask for mediation. It'll go to UN. It'll go to everyone. Okay. And you'll see this happening. And we'll discuss this as we go along. He's got no other choice left. And we need to tire them out. For example, already certain formation of us have mobilized to the border. The moment you have mobilized them to the border, I don't think our mobilization will be full scale. Some part. Pakistan has got no choice but to deploy. You mobilize one formation, complete Pakistan army has to deploy. Pull that out. Send another mobilization somewhere else. They have to redeploy. Make him deploy, redeploy. Deployment is costly. We found it out in Op Parakram. Op Parakram today, if you look back, right, didn't succeed because ultimately it costed us a lot and we could do nothing. In this, make him do nothing and make it costly for him. Reverse Op Parakram. And then let's see how much uncle he cries. The game is on. Let's not expect immediate results. Patience. Play the long game. Okay. The question which I'm going to ask all of us, and we have to ask ourselves as a nation, is Kashmir turning a corner? Or has Kashmir turned a corner? You know, I saw this photograph of shutters down and two tourists pulling their suitcases. And it struck me, what's happening? Normally, earlier, when such an event happened, whenever such an event happened in Kashmir, there used to be a band. People used to pack up. That was par for the course. But now the pack up is slightly different. Now it is the people who are packed up in support of the army, the government, and the people. Why? Kashmiris have started probably realizing the benefit of progress, tourism, money, and the way the education and the good things of being a good democracy. They're fed up. Simultaneously, my own view is when you see on the other side, look what's happened in the past 1 year on the other side also has to be taken into account. What did you see in Muzaffarabad? What did you see in all the things? Just about 6 months back, firing happening, bunds happening, people not getting anything. Their own electricity generated in POK was being sent out, whereas they didn't have electricity. Same story with Baluchistan also. Minerals from Baluchistan, gas from Baluchistan is not available locally, but it is available in Islamabad and Rawalpindi. Same thing in the Kashmiris have seen this. They've seen the benefit of integration with India. Okay. And that is why you suddenly see shutdowns, street protests, all in support of the army, in support of the government. This is something which is very, very, I couldn't have thought of it. I've been in Kashmir, I've served there. I couldn't have thought of it when I was serving, when I was deployed there. I could never trust these people to do the right thing. It is not a matter of not trusting the people, but the people were under tremendous pressure from the militants, from the underground workers, from the political people who had different ideas. and those people who heart and heart were supporting Pakistan. So the common man in Kashmir was being squeezed. So he behaved in a manner. Today, the common man in Kashmir has understood that he need not speak for Pakistan. He need not speak. He'll speak his mind. I think that moment has come, and we have to grasp that moment. And why am I saying this? Because in in social media, in many media, you find that comments coming about religion, this, that, and all that. Pointing fingers at locals and all that. That's not fair. On one hand, we say we want to win their hearts and minds because that's the route to resolve insurgencies. On the other hand, you accuse them of not being with India. The whole idea is to get them over, be with us. So we need to be very clear as to how to handle this. And this is a very good sign. Get people on our side. The people are, for the first time, have come on our side. It's just not them. I mean, I couldn't have thought of a headline like this. Heads hang in shame. I mean, ask any journalist, ask any strategist, ask any military man. No way. In fact, the day that fellow, I'm forgetting that militant was, killed in an encounter. I was in young chap. I'm forgetting his name. I'll get to it. Right, I was in Srinagar with GOC 15 Corps, and I seen that. Okay, the kind of violence which came out after that. Today, it's something completely different. Mirwais comes out and condemns this. Can you imagine? He's part of the Hurriyat. These chaps, Hurriyat guys, were plowing an anti-India thing and all this. Now they've seen which side of the toast is buttered. The toast in Pakistan is definitely not buttered. Their future lies in India. Yeah, he might still be politically against many of us. That's okay. But for him to come out with this thing, saying that it is unacceptable, is something we need to appreciate. That we don't have to be with him. Don't have to say some. I'm sure people who are watching this will say, "Oh, this man is speaking for those guys." No, you have to understand. Yeah, Burhan Wani. Burhan Wani was the guy who was, the day he was knocked off in an encounter. I was in Srinagar with GOC 15 Corps at that time. Then Satish Dua, who keeps coming on Gunnershot. I've seen things have changed drastically from then. And this is, if the Mirwais himself says it's condemnable, and then Sajad Lone, have a look today. That's his tweet today. Okay, Sajad Lone, long thing he's written. Well, but he might mean it, not mean it. They might be good, not good. But he, 1 year back, 2 years back, or even 10 years back, they couldn't have even thought of giving out these things. If they gave out such messages or gave out such views, they would have been knocked off the next day. Today, everyone has come out and said, so this is a thing which we need to understand and get it. It's in every bad incident, there's an opportunity. Something good comes out of it. This has come out. We shouldn't blame, right? This has given us another strategic edge. What is the strategic edge which we have got? It is to send a message across to POK. Look, your brethren here, what do they say about this whole story? And see your status and see ours. This gives us a tremendous handle for building public opinion in POK and influencing the outcomes in POK. If you want to put pressure on Pakistan, you have to influence people, their own people who till some time back were against the government of India are now coming in support of the government of India and support of army and support of the people of India. It's a big movement. Right? And it's a big movement and it's a big opportunity for us to go across to POK. And like I said earlier, this might give you the first step in retaking POK politically. Develop people to people contact across the LOC. Gives you the opportunity. We shouldn't lose it. And in my opinion, there are very few times in the history of a nation or in the journey of a nation or a moment or a thing where you get such an opportunity. We shouldn't lose it. This is something I don't know whether others have spoken about it or not. I thought I must speak about it. Right? And you must also, let me end it on a very positive note. One of the highest decorated battalions of the Indian Army, 8 Jackalai, and that is General Satish Dua's unit. I've been there, I met the Jackalai boys. 50% of them are Muslims from Kashmir. And it's one of the highest decorated, battalions of the Indian Army. Part of the Bana post. Sudhar Bana Singh was of that unit. They've got many more. So we need to get it back. Let's not lose this golden opportunity. Okay. Now let's get to Bangladesh. Is there a lesson from Pahalgam for Bangladesh? I think there is. And all of you will agree with me. Right? While whatever is happening with Pakistan is thing, we'll sort it out. It's not something which we will not sort it out. We will sort out Pakistan. There's no doubt about it. But Bangladesh, we know, has been troublesome in the recent past. So why don't we use this opportunity to address Bangladesh? And that's what I'm doing. This is a direct communication to the people of Bangladesh hereafter. From Bangladesh, you see these stability is the need of the hour. Why? Because internally, this country is unstable. Okay. And, you have such headlines coming out. And this is from Daily Star, which is one of the leading magazines. They acknowledge that they're unstable internally. They have not found their feet. Okay. And yesterday, day before, I saw this article from South China Morning Post. It says, Bangladesh new leader dreams big with China's backing. It's now come out in the open. China is backing whatever this fellow is doing. Yunark. And he's dreaming of being a great swing nation, pivot nation, build bridge between China and India, play India against China and all that out. We all know that. He's doing it. Okay. And then there are articles like this which keep coming out. Every third, fourth day they keep coming out. Getting China on board. How, to do our best with China. All those things keep coming. I won't call that a Indus Water Treaty movement for Bangladesh. But, we stopped the transshipment of goods. Basically garments from Delhi. They're stuck. They don't have any other option. Because incidentally, it's very funny, if they export garments from Bangladesh, it costs them $3 a kg. Okay, from Delhi, if they take garments from Bangladesh overland to Delhi all the way and put it in a plane and send it out, it costs them $1.50 a kg of garments. And it's faster, much faster. But in Bangladesh, they don't have capacity. So we stopped this transshipment. It's already hit their garment industry badly. Pre-IWT movement for them. So now this. Bangladeshi should know, if we can stop Indus water there, we'll do what we want with Ganga also. That's what their crib, no? They threaten us. You don't give us water. Now, this is open. They should understand. We've stopped your export. You act funny, you'll not get water, because all that water will do us good. We'll use the water. Again, the problem of that Faraka barrage, water treaty between India and Bangladesh on Ganga waters and all, is not when Ganga is in flood or spate. It is when there's no water in Ganga. That's when Bangladesh wants water. And unlike there, you can easily divert water. Don't give them only. They should know where they are. So forget the fact that people say, "Oh, we are surrounded by states which are not friendly with us." It's okay. If they're not friendly with us, sort them out. If Bangladesh decides that it has to cross our red lines by going to China, or it decides that it wants to build a air base at Lal Monir Hat, which is complete red line to us, we cross all red lines. We'll lay our red lines. Where will they go? Where will they go? Okay. Where will they go is answered in this article. It's a beautiful article. And actually, when I saw this, I put together everything and I said, let me put it across. I don't know how many people in Bangladesh would have read this. So everyone in Bangladesh who's going to see this podcast will get an idea as to what this man has written. It's one of theirs. And I thought I must share it with all of you. Because as much as people like this Jonas and all are useless fellows who are anti-India and all that, this man, whether he's with India or not, I'm not interested. But he has analyzed it well. And that's what I want to put across to you. Okay. He says, India is no longer just Bangladesh neighbor. That time has gone. He says, India is a rising global power with increasing leverage over financial, health, and technology systems worldwide. This man has assessed India better than any Pakistani. Pakistani to idiots. Okay. Then he says Indian origin CEOs now lead Microsoft, Alphabet, Adobe, and IBM. Ajay Banga heads the World Bank, where decisions shape international aid and lending. See how alive this man is. There's over 20% of the doctors in the US are of Indian descent. Okay. India supplies affordable medicines to more than 150 countries and hosts the world's largest vaccine producer. All this affects Bangladesh. If tomorrow Bangladesh wants, a loan from either the World Bank or the IMF, you have a say in it, and you have a major say in it. For example, Sri Lanka wouldn't have got the assistance it got from IMF, but for us, we stood guarantee for them. And I see a time coming very shortly where Bangladesh has to go back to either World Bank or IMF. It's going to happen. Then he says its logistical capacity has been proven in crisis from Nepal to Maldives. He's completely aware. He is telling his countrymen what we have not been able to tell. Okay. He says this growing capacity is just not is international. It is regional. He says it's not happening everywhere. It affects the region. And for Bangladesh, that regional power is right next door. We've been saying all this. They've not been listening. Now they're getting that realization. They're getting that realization thanks to the tariff war, thanks to the strike on IW on Pakistan, the Pahalgam incident, and our reactions to it. And they must be having their own idea of look, where are we going? Nowhere. Then he goes on to say emotions may win applause, but it does not build ports, deliver vaccines, or supply food during price shocks. They need rice from us. And if tomorrow there's a global problem of rice, sorry. And we've done that earlier. I told you once before. When there was a global problem of onions, one of the countries which benefited was Bangladesh. We gave it to them. We didn't give many people. We didn't, whenever onions or rice or wheat go into a global scarcity regime, the government of India takes it over. And then it tells whom these traders have to sell. And we go and sell it to the global south. We sell it give it to our neighbors for an affordable price. Now this man is now coming back to that story. He says geography does not change. Neighbors are not optional. India is too large and too close to ignore. He's telling his own fools, you can't go to China. Strong neighbor relations are not a matter of liking or trust. They are a matter of need and realism. All this is saying. Then he says Indian ports can supply goods to Bangladesh in one day. Any shipment from China takes 2 weeks. These are his problems. Okay. Then he says, this is a very interesting thing he says. Bangladesh experimented with rice from Pakistan and onions from Turkey. Both were rejected by local consumers on ground of taste and quality. तो ठीक है बांग्लादेश अगर थर्ड रेट ऑनियंस एंड फोर्थ रेट राइस बाहर से लेके आना चाहते हैं तो ले आए उनको क्या मिलेगा कुछ नहीं मिलेगा दे विल गेट नथिंग I mean if they don't want from India they'll have to pay and get nothing. Then he says during price shocks Indian supply is not a luxury, it is a necessity. I hope people in Bangladesh are listening to this and read this article. I'm reading out for you chaps who are watching me in Bangladesh. And then he says the Arakan region, which is very interesting, housing nearly 180,000 Rohingya refugees, sits adjacent to India's northeast. And then he goes on to say, what happens if that is interfered with? Complete security system of Bangladesh will go for a toss if India starts meddling. Then he says Bangladesh should continue to strengthen ties with China, ASEAN, and all that. But diversification is not a substitute for functional relationship with our closest and most capable neighbor. No option. What we have been now saying from the time that revolution takes place, now these stories are going to coming out from Bangladesh because Bangladesh sees a dead end. Bangladesh will be seeing what's happening in Pakistan. And then he says, India is the only country that can respond to our urgent need in hours, not weeks. That responsiveness matters. Yes, it matters, especially during climate emergencies, energy shortages, market disruptions. They need not admire India, but they have to respect it. He says, ignoring its rise does not slow it down. You ignore India's rise, whether you ignore India or not, India will rise, irrespective. This fellow, this idiot, Jai Bangla, says in Bangladesh can be a mediator in Indo-Pak war. We don't want you anywhere around. Just let it take your tool, have your toolkit, shove it up your backside and go. We don't need you. You're not great. We'll sort out Pakistan the way we know. You also want to be a mediator like Iran and Saudi Arabia and come to that level. See, this is the problem with Bangladeshis. They have an opinion of themselves as if they are great. They can't even produce onions. Then he finally says, which is right, true sovereignty does not come from slogans or grandstanding. It comes from the ability to make decisions based on long-term national interest, not short-term emotional appeal. Bangladesh people deserve a foreign policy that protects their future, not one that satisfies their fleeting sentiment. I think this is a wake-up call for Bangladesh. Bangladesh has to decide where it stands and where it wants to go. The writing on the wall is very clear. You cross our red lines. You cross our red lines and we'll do what we have to do. We've stopped transshipment of your clothes. Okay? Your economy is going to get hit. It's not going to recover. It will not recover without India. Tomorrow, if you continue in this belligerent mood, we will not, I'm repeating, we will not settle the water thing anywhere. You let the Chinese come to Tista, you let the Chinese come to Lalmonirhat, we'll sort you out. There might be a military option. Let's not have any doubt. Consider this as a warning, so be it. Consider this a threat, so be it. And this is not an empty threat like that Pakistani gave about nukes, shukes, and all that. No. This is plain talk. And this plain talk is based on your analysis. I'm showing your analysis to your face. So Bangladesh has to take a lot of lessons from Pahalgam. Now it's up to Bangladesh whether it wants to or not. Depending on how Bangladesh behaves, India will behave accordingly. Okay. I'm going to talk of something very interesting now. China. You know, and the tariff war. I never imagined that this is going to happen. The way things are, this thing which came out, right? You know, this is a tweet by a chap called Yu Fuxian. Now, who's Yu Fuxian? Yu Fuxian was a doctor, Chinese doctor, gynecologist. He's still a gynecologist, but he's good at demography. He's also one of the leading demographers of China. So he fell foul of CCP. He was shunted out long back. He's gone. He's in the University of Wisconsin, and he's a professor there in gynecology. But he writes extensively on demography. He put this tweet out, and I must read that tweet out for you to understand what's happening in China. This is it, and I could never imagine it. He says the biggest loss to China from the Sino-US trade war is not the economy, but the population. Interesting. He says last year the number of marriages in China plummeted by 20%. Last year, which means if last year the number of marriages have reduced, This year, the number of babies produced will reduce even further. That's the thing. And he had predicted that China's, marriages will be around 6 million only. Earlier, it was 8-9 million marriages. Okay. And he says that means the number of births will drop from 9.54 million in 2024 to 7 to 7.8, around 7.5 million this year in 25. That's a sharp drop. This is something beyond which I've always predicted. If the year on year decline, okay, in the first quarter of this year, January, February, March, number of marriages have dropped by 8% already over the last. If the year on year decline is achieved, the number of marriages for the whole year will be only 7 million or 5.61 million. From 6, it's going to come down to 5.6 million, which means there will be only 7 million births next year. And if this trade war continues, and if China doesn't pull out of the effects of this trade war, there'll be more youth unemployment, there'll be more unemployment, there'll be more, people will not get wages. If all this happens, people will not marry, people will not have babies. If this doesn't happen, the demography will go even further down. Very interesting. I didn't think of it, so I thought I must share it with all of you. Then further he went on in another same, I think it was a thread. I don't think it was a thread, it was another tweet or a follow-up tweet, where people have said, no, the West also has a population decline, USA has also population decline, Japan and Korea. He says, yeah, in this tweet he says, yes, there's no doubt. But the fertility rate in China fell below that of USA way back in 1991. And it is always gone below that. Okay. He says in 2023, the fertility rate in USA was 1.61. Japan was 1.20. And China was only 1. Now it will go below that. He says it is impossible for China to violate the laws of population biology. And he's right. And that's what I've been saying always. And this, I took out the data which I had accumulated earlier on all this population business and all. So let me, this is the South China Morning Post article which said China's population woes deepen as marriage registrations plummet. This was last year, towards the end of last year. It came to the lowest level since 1980. Look at this. These marriages are now at 6 million. It's going to go down further. Divorces are going up. So if divorces are going up, marriages are going down, then the population decline will be even more. And if that is compounded by the tariff war, whatever hardship, it doesn't matter who wins the tariff war. Let me tell you, I am not bothered. If this chap is doing that thing, I am looking only at China. You know that. Okay. So it's going to have a problem. The birth rate also is going down. Look at it where it's gone down. It'll go even further. Then they're in a crisis. And Xi Jinping last year came out with this article where he said the pros and cons. The main things he said is past birth control policies were correct and effective. That he covered up all those guys at that point of time. He covered up Deng Xiaoping basically, right? But the operative thing, which I'm showing you the same slide which I showed you 6 months back. He says, see, look at this. Reduced labor force and weaker consumer and investment momentum will be there. It is happening. When then people say this is going to become, what shall I say, a big nation. Consumerism will increase. Consumption will increase in China. It will never increase. Now with this tariff war, it will decrease even further. Okay. Pace of population transition is fast. It's changing very fast. And with this, it's going to accelerate. The crux which I keep telling everyone, population decline has come earlier than expected in China. It's actually come 10 years before it was supposed to happen. People were saying it will happen in 2030, 2035. It's happened in 2022 officially. And now Xi Jinping himself is acknowledging it. He acknowledged it 6 months back. People have not realized it. And as you go by, this is going to be a thing. Okay. So that's the major thing. And if you look at this, this is something which I put out again in my previous one of my previous podcasts. I pulled the slide out. If you look at it, this is the let me expand it a bit. Yeah. If you look at it, look at the slide. This is the UN graphs, which is actually the figures are all off. But still, for want of anything else, you say so. This was the one which I made in 2023, not now. Okay. In 2030, this will be their population, ideally. You will see not much change, but from 2030 to 2040, the change would be drastic. That's what I said then. But now, with this new thing which is coming, right, these are the data from this lines which I took. Here, if the number of marriages go down, which is going down, if the number of births will go down, at which it will go down, divorces are going up, means, but birthing will go down, this figure will go ori. This will decrease. If this decreases drastically by 20%, this will also decrease. Given the fact that this will not change, because those people are already born, these figures are not going to change. This will change drastically. And this will transform here in 5 years. And you're going to see a drastic change. That's why I keep saying the future of real China, you'll see around 2030. And if we can head off China till then, that's it. After that, they'll collapse. Our best years are yet to come. Be patient. Right? That's what I thought I'll put across to all of you. Small thing, interesting thing, but very important. Okay. With this, I'll now take some questions. At the outset, yeah. Thanks a lot, Divakar. You've given 5 memberships to people. What I'd request all of you is, if you like this video, press that like button. Subscribe to Gunnershot. I would request more of you to join Gunnershot. And those of you who've been gifted these memberships by Divakar, please continue. Because, like I said, you're going to help someone. That's all my request is. And thanks a lot once again, Divakar. Yeah. So please consider doing a presentation on what we as civilians should do during wartime if an all-out war were to occur, unfortunately. Just be with the nation. That's it. I mean, I'll give you a personal example, my own experience. This was during Op Vijay. We were moving from, my unit was in Siliguri those days. I was moving to the northern sector, going in a train, and the train was being halted at various places, like normal. Only it's a military train, but still for crossings, some station for food, we had to stop. Okay. So a lot of people, a lot of goodwill came from a lot of people. All the best, There was a small girl who came to me, and she said, "How can I help you?" I said, "Look, don't worry. I don't need much help. We'll do that." Right? And she came out with 6 bananas. She said, "Sir, I am very poor. This is all I can afford, and this is from my house. So please take the 6 bananas." I thought that was a fantastic gesture on her part. So I took those 6 bananas and gave her something more back, a lot more back for her and her family. Right? But that was her sentiment. Small girl, maybe about 10, 12. And if you have that sentiment and stand by the army, we'll win the battle. $1 million question. Will India attack Pak army or terrorists inside Pakistan? Please answer why or why not. There will be some action, because the emotional issue has to be addressed of the nation. The nation is angry, so something will happen. But will that give great results in the long run? No. Oh, will we attack Pakistan army and all that in a big manner? Will there be a war? No. When will this happen? Let's see. Will there be indirect actions on Pakistan? 100%. Yeah, not trying to be funny, sir. CCP forces things, meaning the interference that only marriages yield baby might not apply with CCP rule. They may use technologies. No. Let's not give too much to the CCP. They're idiots at the end of the day. As far as China is concerned, he remains our enemy. If he is willfully in self-destruct mode, we should not interfere. With time, he could become a footnote in history. I completely agree with you. I think one of the best things, when your opponent is making a mistake, don't interfere. Let him. Sir, how will we handle the internal security? There are many Pakistans within India. I'm sure there are methods to handle it. There are political methods, there are security methods. Don't worry. Right? There are ways to do it, and I'm sure now will be doing it. To all those who say don't blame the whole community, I have a good quote I saw. Radical Islam is a snake hiding in grass. Moderate Islam is the grass covering the snake. Your views. Look, all these things will come. I wouldn't like to go into the ethnics or the community or the religion part of it. Start looking at it from humanitarian issues, humanity part of it. I've commanded Muslim troops. I've lived with them. Okay, I understand them. I'm, in fact, for that matter, every kind of troops. You have to shed this idea to win them over. You have to win their hearts. We've done that. Yeah, it's clear to the world that radical trolls from Bangladesh and Pakistan don't want free and fair elections in Bangladesh, fearing a massive loss. They don't represent the 170. Yes, I agree with you. And that's the thing which that now that article has come out. I hope it triggers people. Yeah. Sir, notifications are preventing me from reading the slide. Please turn off the notifications. Which notifications are you talking about? You're talking of these banners? Okay, let me talking of this. Okay, fine. I'll do that. Yeah. Since Pahalgam, Baluch freedom fighters have eliminated more than 20 Paki soldiers, injuring more than 35 in different attacks in Baluchistan. Indian investment will be profitable in Baluchistan. I agree with you, Varis, completely. और इसके बारे में हमने एक वीडियो भी निकाला, 2-3 वीडियो निकाला बलूचिस्तान के बारे में, और कल सुबह भी मैं निकालूंगा उस वीडियो का हालत क्या है बलूचिस्तान के अंदर, सब देखिए. Yeah, the bottom line in the article of Bangladesh, the article is saying good relations are a compulsion, maybe undesirable, but have to do. We should always remember this attitude of Bangladeshis. There's no doubt about what you're saying. I 100% agree with you. What is happening in China's internal politics? Who are the people around Xi right now? He's purging Shanghai clique. Who has he replaced them? I'm just waiting for General Narayanan to come back. He's in USA. When he comes, we'll examine this. Thanks a lot, Premanaya, for your encouragement. Why do we have so many Pak apologists in our country? Pak doesn't need to be anything as our own people, and Western media will downplay and suppress. Yeah, our lives don't matter. No, they matter. I'm not apologizing for Pakistan. You have to bloody have them, break them. You have to break Pakistan. And that's what I've been saying. Okay. We need to have that dum for doing it. And that's political, that's diplomatic, that's military, all three put together. And people have to, exercise their will to do so. Then everything will happen. Yesterday, you spoke of canals that must be built to utilize more water. If the government decides to do this, when do you think it should be announced? You don't have to announce, just start making it. Don't publicize anything, just start, and everything will be sorted out. Isn't it true that 79% of Brahmaputra watershed is with us in Arunachal? More than that, 85%. And for that, Anjali, please see my video earlier. Go to Gunnershot and put dams on Brahmaputra. And you'll get I did a video which settles all issues. Can we divert the Padma Meghna into Bhagirathi? No, you can't. The problem with Brahmaputra is it floods too much. Okay, and there's too much water in that area. The India Bangladesh, the problem is not Brahmaputra waters. The problem is Ganga waters. Bharat gave a golden opportunity to Bangladesh, like they say, clean a pig and keep inside your house. You try to feed it good food. They always aim for something else. Yeah, don't get involved with tutu meme on these things. But Bangladeshis have to take a call. No, that's it. As simple as that. Yeah, true. So, People's President Abdul Kalam is also a Muslim. Only radical Islamists are a problem. I completely agree with you. In fact, I've dealt with him. He was my boss. I've dealt with him across a table, and we used to go for long walks once in a while. Especially in Shar, Sriharikota. Yeah, hi Anjali, how are you? From Connecticut, I remember that. Yeah, I'm sure majority Kashmiris are loyal to India. People change. Yes, they will. If you've gone there and you operated there and everything, things change. I'll give you another story. Once we had to deploy in a place which had no facilities. So when I landed up there, I was told, look, I had no facilities for my troops. Nothing. Not a building, nothing. And we landed there about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, where do I keep my whole regiment? So anyway, there was a forest out there. I said, deploy in the forest. Next to that forest, there was a pumping station, water pumping station for the village. So, and I said, look, I called that guy who was operating the pumping station. I said, can I have some water for my men? Because we need water. We are about 500 people. So he said, sir, give me 5 guys and I will give you water. I said, what do you do? I have pipes which are meant for repair elsewhere. I'll put them. I'll temporarily make a pipeline for you and I'll give you one water pipeline tonight so that tomorrow morning you have water. And by tomorrow, if you give me a vehicle, there's a yard out here where I have more pipes. I'll give 4 or 5 pipelines so that you have adequate water. I have no problem of water. I don't have manpower, and at this point of time, I don't have full resources. I said, I given, and I gave. And then he said, Sab, aap log aa gaye, and he was a Muslim. Okay, aap log sab aa gaye, तो हमारा 2 kg खून बढ़ गया. नहीं तो हम यहाँ डर के मारे रहते थे. So if you lived with them, you will realize those people were put under a lot of pressure. They'll now come back. Yeah, I won't be able to trust the Kashmiris for a long time. All of us and them can blame Pakistan as much as we want, but the truth is these guys are complicit. They massacred. Yeah, these things will take a long time to heal. I understand your issue. At times I also feel the way you do. At times I feel the rationality in me takes over. These are wounds which are going to take a long time to heal, and you need to have patience to heal them. Otherwise, it will impede our growth. It will impede the idea of India. It will impede the idea that we have to retake POK. Yeah, sir, I see these are a strategy. IWT, abeyance, brinkmanship, kinetic, blockade, Pakistani imports at Karachi, supply militancy within Pakistan, economic. Yeah, generally, this is what you need to do. And I actually outlined the best video is the first video I did on options against Pakistan. And many of those options have been adopted by the government. I'm sure they'll adopt more. That's a logical way of doing it. Would the international community ever allow Pakistan to launch nukes? Out of question. Good day, sir. India should impose the 2 million to pay for each death and 1 million to the injured for army talk. Can we do that? We can go to the court and ask them to do this. Go to the International Court of Justice and put in a request. People have done it. And take them for crimes against humanity. Do you think this adversity brings us closer and help us bring us stronger and build a stronger and more prosperous Bharat the way it happened? Possible. It's got a lot of possibility, provided our politicians come up to the standard. They have to be a little more accommodative of each other's viewpoints, whether it's the ruling party or the opposition. The politicians divide us with their narratives for their votes and power. We as common people fall for it. If they are less antagonist with each other, what you're saying will come out. India hasn't declared Pakistan a terrorist state earlier because you cannot have diplomatic relations. Yeah, I agree with you, John. I think we have to go to that if we have to. Any case, diplomatic relations are down to the minimum at this point of time. The whole thing depends on whether politically what is the objective. What is the objective of whatever we are doing? What's the national objective? Look, that's the way I look at it. Let me reframe the thought process. They have attacked us. You want to do something. At the end of something, what do you want? Because that something and the end of something will depend on what you want. What is your mudda? What is your objective? What is your national interest or political objective you has put across in this whole story? Is it to punish Pakistan? Is it to eradicate terrorism? Is it to break Pakistan? Is it to regain POK? Is it to integrate JNK? What is it? Or protect JNK? So that mudda has to come out. Or is it to just, deliver justice by killing those 4-5 guys? Like the Prime Minister said, we'll pursue them to the end of the earth. Will that solve anything? Will a strike against Pakistan solve anything? Because we've done the strikes, Pakistan remains the same. So what is it? What is that lasting solution we want? Everything comes from that. Do we have that clarity? I don't see that clarity, at least in social media. In fact, I wanted to do a show on that. What is your aim at the end of all this? What do you want to achieve? Maybe I'll do it. I'll do it next week. Can India afford to give Pakistan another chance? No. You have to fix it now. Now or never. It's a letter of Omar Bukhari of 11 core. Even the core has a Chinese. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Where did they get the fissile material to make weapons grade nukes? They got it from all over. China gave them. It's China. Why do you look far? And then the AQ Khan network they stole from Europe. Yeah, why hasn't India sanctioned Mullah Munir and declared Pakistan a state of? Uh, Many of these things will be considered. I'm sure. The first response went with the abeyance of IWT. Things will happen. Don't worry. Be patient. It's only 4 days. Namaskar, Shruti ji. Hans, good evening. Yeah, why doesn't India stop all flights from Bangladesh flying over India? That's one of the options that will come one of these days. It's a matter of time. It depends on how many red lines they want to cross and how many red lines we want to impose. Okay, last question from the bottom. Okay. I'm worried. I'm very worried if Trump has successfully ended the if Trump had successfully ended the Ukraine war and pulled Putin into the U.S. orbit. Okay, but right now China is the joker in the pack. We all know Iran is. Yeah, these are things which will go on. We'll discuss it separately. We'll not mix that with this. Mossad say Raga colluded with Hindenburg before Haifa deal. Yeah, these things will happen. I think that man needs to re-examine what he is. Sir, I have observed that everyone else seems to be advocating for war except you. Your analysis is truly amazing. I think we should take a firm stance and respond decisively without escalating. War will get you nowhere, let me assure you. Because, like I said, people don't understand, they have not understood where Pakistan is and how you want to handle Pakistan and what your aim. Just go to war for what? I have also said every war which Pakistan has taken part in, it's been defeated. When every defeat, the Pakistan army comes out stronger. So what are you doing by going to war with those fellows? I mean, it is completely antithetical to the normal logic. So when you have so many other options, and not going to war will allow your stature to go up. Not going to war with them will ensure that your economy keeps going up. That's the point. So, how about using the excess IWT waters during monsoons to recharge groundwaters on a large scale instead of just allowing him to? You don't need, you can't control those rivers during monsoon. I mean, if you go there, Chenab, you go, and Aknur, there are 4 bridges which are lying downstream which were broken by Chenab. Chenab is a perishes river. You can't control it. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Matwaji. And what will be the impact of Pinaka against Pakistan? They're going to have it. You might see Pinaka strikes. Instead of using Air Force, you use Pinaka and you'll get the same results. Let's see how things will happen. Pinaka is very good against their hard defenses and all that. Thanks a lot once again. Instead of doubting the outrage of Indian Muslim against Pahalgam, use it for isolating the right. I agree with you. That's the whole story which I put across, Arunachal. I completely agree with you. You need to channelize that feeling into something positive. Government must have decided objective of the operation. I don't have a clear single objective. Let the government do, let the government decide. Yeah, General Saab, I'm from Pakistan. Here, the enforced propaganda of the terrorist Napak army is rampant. They have all put their hopes on China. Do you think India should pacify China with some deal? No, I'm not interested. And China will not help Pakistan. Let me assure you this. China is worried. China will put Pakistan in the forefront, let Pakistan suffer. But beyond a point, China can't afford to do anything. Because China is already having a hot potato called Russia. If Pakistan also becomes a hot potato for them, China will have more problems. And China is still, if you see the tweets from the Chinese spokesperson, he says there should be greater bonds between India and China. And we're going to keep them at distance. Yeah, absolutely. Last question of the day. Can we create India's list of terrorists and put Pakistani COs as terrorists? Yeah, we must. Why not? And then go after these. Why not? Sure. If a country is analogous to a human being and its immune system is armed forces, what according to you will be the judiciary and the executive branches? The head. They have to think. The executive branch is the limbs. They have to act. They have to create. Sir, as fellow class, you will be visiting Delhi. It'd be an honor to host you at Dholakwa. Yeah, sure. I must be coming in the first week of maybe in the next 4-5 days. I should be in Delhi. We'll meet. Another brilliant piece. Thanks. I just put together all these thoughts which came to my mind and put a few slides so that you understand. Encourage nationalist mindset of Indian Muslims rather than. Yeah, I completely agree with you. 100%. I've seen, like I told you, my experience with Muslims has been very good. Of course, it's been bad also, but those are the bad chaps. And I've seen them going through pressure from both sides. People at the end of the day are people. They have same human emotions like you and I. Okay. Thanks to all of you who have attended. Some of my ideas which I put across, you might not like. That's okay. That's my conviction. Some of my ideas which I put across might be completely divergent in view and everything compared to someone else. That's also fine. We are in a democracy. They might have their ideas, I might have mine, and I put them with my logic. I'm not emotional about the whole story because in these things, emotion doesn't work. You have to be pretty cold blooded. I take a step away. There are no emotions in my head. There's a resolve as to what we should do. There's a difference between having resolve and emotional. For example, I did a thing on News X. So people have said, ये तो कांग्रेसी जनरल है, ये तो पीस बात करता है पाकिस्तान के साथ. No, that's typecasting. That's not what I'm interested in. Okay. Thanks a lot. Good evening and Jai Hind. And tomorrow evening at 7:30, we're going to do a program with, Sri IRG on peak gurus. I really don't know what I'm going to speak. I don't know the subject. Tomorrow morning we'll take a call. Until then, bye. See you tomorrow evening at 7:30. Thank you. Good night.